Hello and welcome. In this video I want to answer the question that if you enjoy Skyrim, will you enjoy the Elder Scrolls Online? And what's the experience like? And yes, I know I look completely ridiculous in this pink freaking bathrobe, but I have been too lazy to change my clothes. So the short answer is yes. Many players can enjoy ESO, but it's quite a different experience than the single player experience in Skyrim. ESO is multiplayer and MMO, and you could treat it and play it as such as a single player, but the game shines so much more if you add in the community aspect of it. ESO is very, very enjoyable if you set your expectations right and you come in prepared knowing that what you get versus what you don't get. Format of this video is more like a day in life of an Elder Scrolls Online player, or ESO for short, so you can kind of follow me around and see if this game is right for you. And of course I'll edit the video recording, that way you're not sitting around watching me for 3,000 hours. So this is not a very deep comprehensive guide since ESO is so deep and has so many layers, but what I would like is that on the agenda we'll briefly go through sections and talk about things like character creations, add-ons and mods. Of course, if you play Skyrim, you'll want to know about that. The maps and the regions and the questing journals, inventory management, as well as your ESO Plus subscription and the crown stores. Your daily to-do stuff that you do in your everyday playthrough. We'll talk about community and guilds and multiplayer aspect of it a little bit. I'm not a PvP player. I tried it a few times and got completely wrecked. We'll also talk about, group activities and then the leveling up process. Characters, your skills, your champion points. Character creation. Once you pick a class, make sure you have your heart set on it, because once your character creation process is done and you have your class, you cannot change your class. There's various classes that you can pick, Sorcerer, your Nightblade, your Templars, your Warden, Arcanist, that's the newest one. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm not going to stay stuck in this character creation menu for too long, just so you can see what's available here. You have a few options you want to create. Make it thicker, and it's not like Skyrim, but it gets the job done. Same thing with the face, a few options here and there. One thing you never have to worry about is running out of content in this game, because the map is freaking huge. It's every zone, for example, has its own little zone guide, and I haven't even completed some of these, but let's say if we go to Western Skyrim, go to Solitude, and then you can see, oh my god, that looks like something else. Look at that mushroom head. And we can go into this location and check out the Rift, probably one of my favorite zones, and I think one of the few zones that I completed to 100%. So in order to start a questing, for example, you'll go to pick a region and a place you want to go to the main way shrine that's in that particular region, and you'll usually be able to find a quest starter person. There she goes, right there. They have little icons on them, and you'll be able to talk to them, and you can start a quest. Now, the quests in this game, it's so many of them. You'll spend hundreds and hundreds of hours. Usually when you log in, you want to kind of queue for the daily dungeon finder. This is more like a community playing with other people, and you get some daily bonus reward, like a bunch of experience there. Once you do that, you'll have it'll tell you normal dungeons ready, so go ahead and accept it. I'm not gonna show you this whole dungeon, but just to see what it's like. With daily dungeons, you have a tank, you have a healer, you have 2 DPS. Now right there, here comes the boss battle, the boss guy. So when you're fighting bosses, usually you want to stay opposite of the tank. That way you're not getting hit by the cleaving attack of the boss. And one thing I do want to mention about the combat is that it is different from Skyrim, in the sense that, so you have your ability bars or skill bar at the very bottom of the screen, and you have your front bar, right, which is your primary attack-ish, and then your back bar, which has a bunch of other attacks. But essentially what you're doing is you're rotating from the front to the back, and you kind of rinse and repeat and make sure that all the skills and abilities are always doing something. That way you're doing more damage. So I start off, I usually, you start off an attack by what's called pre-buffing. You'll do whatever, your helper, your summons, and then you start attacking. You do a light attack, and then ability, light attack ability, light attack ability, and light attack ability, and kind of switch back and forth to different abilities. So it depends. The combat is something you just have to experience for yourself in order to see how you like it. And some people love it, some people hate it. There's no way to know unless you try it out yourself. But it is very different from other games, and it's different from Skyrim. Skyrim doesn't have a bar in the back. And if you're the type of player who's a little bit, I would say, slow, and there's nothing wrong with that, and you have difficulty switching back and forth between, the bars, right? Well, you just only want one bar, and that's all you want. Well, in the, some of the newer updates of the game, they have what's called, there's a ring that you can get. So once you put on the ring, it's called the Oakensoul ring, you are only allowed to use your main bar in the so I'm trying to switch the bar, I cannot. You get a bunch of different buffs that you get so many buffs. Your minor courage, major brutality, you gain so much. You can pause the video and read what you gain in here. But the great thing about this ring is that, of course, for a player who's a little bit slower on the keyboard and combat, you only have to use the front bar, right? So that way you're not switching back and forth and getting carpal tunnel syndrome and all that stuff. As a Skyrim player, you want to know about modding the game and add-ons. Well, in here it's called add-ons instead of mods. And of course, since it is a multiplayer game, the mods or the add-ons, they only change things in the graphical user interface. That way, it's not cheating. So for example, one of the bandits, gear manager, these are what's called, let me reload the UI and you can see what it looks like. So right there, some of the add-ons, they change your health bars, your stamina bars, and things like that. It makes it look nicer, but of course, as we mentioned, everything is just your graphical user interface. I think in terms of playing games, if you're on PC, add-ons are an absolute must. Okay, so let's talk about inventory management for a moment here. This game will absolutely destroy you with inventory. You will get thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of inventory. It's either you stop picking up items, or you have to get what's called an ESO Plus member, so you can get your craft bag, which puts pretty much all these little alchemy and ingredients into the craft bag that you never have to worry about inventory size. Of course, you have to pay a membership fee for that, which it should have been, last time I checked, it was like 15 something bucks per month, depending. And so this is something that you have to consider going forward into the long-term future, because you will get completely overwhelmed with inventory if you don't have ESO Plus. And then there's going to be times when you feel like you're not playing the game, but you're just playing this inventory management simulator. Now, of course, if you're on PC, there are add-ons that allows you to make, inventory management a little bit easier, like Inventory Insight. And then there's an add-on that allows you to, I believe it might have been called Bank Manager. Yeah, this is the one where it allows you to kind of automatically, when you go to a bank, that allows you to automatically put stuff in your bank. So with that add-on I mentioned, right now our inventory is like 116 out of 200. That's on our body. Now if I go into the bank, talk to the bank guy, the add-on automatically puts stuff in there. Now I'm at 110. So if you're on PC, then those add-ons are going to help you with your So if you're on PC, those add-ons are going to help you. It's called the Bank Manager Revive. That's going to help you. Right here, right there. It allows you to kind of pick whatever you want to automatically put into the bank. There's so many options here. I'm not going to spend all this precious time that you have onto this, but just know that it exists. And so inventory, you're not going to start off with, when you first begin the game, you're not going to start off with 200 inventory. You have to buy inventory bags. You have to basically grind your way up. And that's one of the things about this game that you have to accept, that it's a grind. There's certain things that you have to just grind. You have to grind for gears. You have to grind for inventory space. It's a lot of grind. If you enjoy it, then you're going to love the game. If not, you're going to have to find a way to get over that part, because it is a grind and it's part of the game. And the set items that you have, there's just so many. And that's why I was talking about how inventory in this game, there's so many sets. Each time you do a little dungeon, you get like a few pieces of a set. There are so many sets, I can't even, see, these I haven't even gotten. Some of these I have. So yeah, you're gonna be spending a lot of time on grinding for gears that you might possibly want. There's only a few sets that are very, very good. Sets like Zon or Reliquin is a good set, but you have to join a trial for that. So let's talk about the community part. I think the community part for this game is probably one of the best. Now, of course, there are some sour grapes, but overall, the community, joining a community is one of the cooler things you can do. You can join a guild, for example. You can do, depending on the kind of players that you are, you can join different guilds to help you do different aspects of the game. Let's look at example. You can find a guild finder, and one thing you don't have to worry about is, like, it sounds intimidating to join a guild, but it's not. Most of them are pretty friendly and pro players. So just find a different guild that you want. You can do for social if you want to do PvP or just questing, because if you're joining random dungeons just to do questing, you're gonna be left behind. Everybody rush it. So many people rush through it because they're not there to quest. They're there to just get their dailies done. And if you want to join guilds to do slower questing, you join some of these. You want to do some crafting and trading to buy and sell items, then you join some of these. The economy in this game is amazing. It's got like its own little economy, and that's the fun part of it. If you go to the banker, right, you can go to the guild store or the guild bank. But if you go to the guild store here, then you can sell the stuff that you have in excess. You can buy stuff from the guild. You can also go to a guild trader. Let's go to the one in Vardenfell. Where's that? Like city. So outside of main city, you usually have these guild traders here. There's quite a few of them, and you're actually buying and selling from various players that are part of the economy, that are part of each different guild. And you can talk to her and you can browse and buy a bunch of stuff that you need. When you go to the main city, you can go to these little writs board. It's like little jobs that you can take. You grab those, and there should be another one back there somewhere. Isn't there another one? I forget where it was. Oh, it's back here. There's another one here and another one right over here. And you just go and create. That's just my add-on. And you'll see here, there's a bunch of different writs that you just got. They're like little jobs that you can go and get the things that you want. So let's say here. Once you create it, I have an add-on to allow me to do that, but you can do it manually. Once you do that, you go turn it in. There's like 6 of them, or all of them right here, all of these. You got to do all of them. But let me just show you what it looks like. Once you do that, you run to these little crates. And you can turn it in. There you go. You get some gold, experience, valuable supplies. Leveling up your characters. You have a bunch of things, like, let's say right now, I'm at like champion 1300 something. And you can go into the champion points and you can pick and choose out of so many of these. it's a lot of stuff here. So each one will give you either more points in your more DPS, more defense, and the craft tree will give you more things like just random stuff that's not part of combat. You get more time to harvest, or you reduces the time to harvest, and the warfare tree and the fitness tree. And so from each tree, of course, you put one little, you can pick four for these slaughterables that you call it, and that allows you to activate it on your character. So you have to kind of pick and choose what is important for you. Skills, you have your class skills, right? Each class has one. Right now I'm a necromancer. I have grave and bone tyrant and living death. Each one of these skills, you can level up them individually, right, as you start using them more. And for the weapon tree, you have your two-handed, one-handed if you want to be a tank, right? Two-handed for DPS, dual wielding, same thing. You have your bow and destruction staff if you like being a little, the mage guy. It's got essence of Skyrim, but it's got a bunch of other things, like it's got excavation, which these are not part of your combat, but they're just fun, like if you want to dig stuff and get some treasures. And you have your guild skill points. Each race you pick will give you a different kind of passive ability. I'm playing as a high elf. And of course your crafting skills. I do want to mention that each one of these will take you a very long time. Well, not a long time, it depends. You have to grind it up. You have to use the ability, use the skill so that you can level them up in order for them to become more strong, more powerful. And in order to get your skill points, you have to get these little sky shards. Every time you get 3 sky shards, you get another extra skill point. So of course you have to grind in order to get it. And these little sky shards can be found pretty much all over the different parts of the map. You can't miss them. They're like these blue shiny thing that shines up all the way in the sky. So since this is an MMO game, it's a lot of the stuff that you find in the Crown Store is like cosmetics or slight quality of life stuff. And they're just like armor sets and things that changes the look of your character. So for example, I definitely need to probably buy something to get rid of this robe. Or you don't have to, you can. And you have these money in the game, they're called crown. So you can exchange that with real money. That's where the part of the slight controversy comes from, but of course it's not pay to win. So in summary, if you are a Skyrim player, will you enjoy ESO? Yes, I would say so. Just have to know that this game offers a different experience, because Skyrim is a single player experience, right? It's just you and the whole world. You're Dragonborn, and you are basically the world centers and revolves around you. But in this game, ESO, the world, you'll find that you're not the only person with all these high quality skills and attributes. You're just one of the thousands and tens of thousands, right? So essentially you're not special. And that's what's great about it, because you get to experience this world, this beautiful, incredible world of Elder Scrolls with other like-minded people, right? People who are just here just to have some fun and be with a community of like-minded people. And I think it's hard in this day and age to find a game or anything online where you're part of a greater community. A community where everybody, well, not everybody, but many people are in it to enjoy themselves, but also help others as well. Because once you start playing this game, you'll see that community. It's a great community, and you'll get back from the community exactly what you put into the community. Right? Help somebody out, they'll help you in return, and essentially everybody wins. So I think if you wanted to, yeah, you can get this game on sale. It's very cheap when it goes on sale. You don't even have to get the whole, collector's pack. Just get the single base game. It's like a few dollars. It's very, very cheap. See what you like. Give it, a few dozen hours, maybe more than a few dozen hours. And then you'll see that it can actually be fun. And if not, if you don't like it, then, throw the game away. But if you love it, then you can buy a bunch of chapters and DLC and subscribe to the ESO subscription, and you can have so much more fun. Oh, that's a beautiful tree right there. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and I hope you have an fun day and enjoy any game that you play, and take care.